The cold case of Benny Scruggs, an enigmatic mystery that has remained unsolved for decades, continues to perplex investigators and captivate the public's imagination. This in-depth video delves into the life of Benny Scruggs, the circumstances surrounding his disappearance, the key suspects and theories, the efforts made to solve the case, and the lasting impact on his family and the community. Through a comprehensive analysis of available evidence and witness accounts, we aim to shed light on the complex puzzle that is Benny Scruggs' disappearance. Hi and welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, please consider subscribing, as it helps us motivate to create more intriguing content for you. Let's have a look at the 1985 twisted cold case, solved after 37 years. Benny Scruggs was born on November 12, 1955, in the scenic hamlet of Riverdale, which is located in the midst of winding rivers and rolling hills. Benny's upbringing was characterized by love, support, and a sense of belonging as a result of the tight-knit community in which he was raised. His parents, Robert and Margaret Scruggs, were respected members of the town. Together, they managed a prosperous hardware company that had been in the Scruggs family for several generations. Benny has always demonstrated great intelligence and a deep interest in the world that surrounds him, even from a very young age. He was a voracious reader who frequently found himself immersed in books that covered topics ranging from historical works to modern scientific findings. Because of his genuine warmth and compassion, in addition to his insatiable hunger for knowledge, he quickly became a favorite of both his instructors and his classmates. It was clear that Benny had a unique connection to music as he got older, and this connection only became more pronounced. He taught himself to play the guitar and the piano, and he would frequently become lost for hours in the tunes he composed. In a short period of time, his musical abilities won him acclaim as a skilled musician, and the process of writing his own songs provided him with both peace and an outlet for expression. Academically, Benny performed exceptionally well in school, particularly in the areas of mathematics and science. His educators saw his ability and urged him to further his schooling and pursue a career in the scientific field. Benny never lost his sense of modesty, and he was always friendly and approachable. He was also always ready to provide a helping hand to anyone who was in need of assistance. Benny Scruggs' life took an unexpected and significant change during the summer of 1978. He had just recently graduated with honors from Riverdale High School, and he was looking forward with great anticipation to the beginning of his college studies in the fall. His loved ones and friends were overjoyed for him when he was admitted to a famous university, and they celebrated his accomplishment with joy. During that particular summer, Benny's days were characterized by a sense of both eagerness and melancholy. He got together with his tight-knit circle of pals and reminisced about the good times they had all had together, while also discussing their future goals. Benny's love of music was always evident, and he would sometimes perform at community gatherings, mesmerizing the crowds with his deep voice and exquisite guitar melodies. Benny began to devote more time to his volunteer work at the Riverdale Community Center as the weather began to warm up. He had a strong desire to give back to the community that had taken care of him throughout his life, and he appreciated the opportunity to act as a role model for younger children, passing on his enthusiasm for education and music to them. Benny Scruggs' family reported seeing him at their house for the last time on the evening of July 15, 1978. It was a pleasant summer evening, replete with the sweet fragrance of blossoming flowers. He had spent the evening playing his guitar in the backyard, where the sounds of crickets and the occasional laughing of children playing nearby had mixed with the gentle tones of music. Benny revealed to his parents later that evening that he intended to go for a stroll in order to clear his head and take in the peaceful atmosphere of the night. Benny made it a habit to go on long, solitary walks by himself. He would use these excursions to generate ideas for his music and to think deeply about life in general. Concerned parents stood on the porch and watched as the figure of Benny faded into the night, becoming a recognizable silhouette as it disappeared amid the trees. Benny did not show up at his house any time throughout the following hours. As soon as the clock hit midnight, the Scruggs family's concerns grew into outright terror, and they immediately made a missing person report to the authorities in their area. The Riverdale Police Department wasted no time in beginning their hunt for Benny, combing through the neighboring woods, riverbanks, and other common hangout locations that he frequented. On the other hand, the young musician could not be located at any point throughout that night. The entire community came together in the days after his abduction to lend their support to the Scruggs family. Residents of Riverdale organized search parties and posted flyers with Benny's photo and a description of him all around the neighborhood, as they were adamant about finding him and bringing him back home safely. Friends and strangers alike shared their recollections of Benny, speaking of the ways in which his talent and generosity had impacted their lives at various points in their journeys. On July 17, 1985, around 3 in the morning, a man named Brian Walker called the cops. He told the cops about Benny and asked them to come over right away. When the cops asked him more about what was going on, he told them that he was Benny's neighbor and that Benny's wife, Yvonne, had called him. When he got there, he saw that someone had stabbed Benny. Brian went on to say that Benny could hardly breathe and was bleeding a lot. The cops told him to keep putting pressure on the wound to stop it from bleeding. He said that he was holding a knife because the killer might still be there. The police knew what was going on and knew how scared he would be, so they first calmed him down and told him to put the knife down and put pressure on the wound instead. Over the phone, the man yelled at Yvonne and told her to put pressure on where Benny was bleeding. The cops also heard Yvonne say that one of her butcher knives had gone missing. The Wisconsin cops got to Benny's home quickly. It is at 1310 29th Avenue South and Travis Drive in the Pioneer Village Mobile Home Park. Benny was bleeding all over and lying on the water in his trailer home with a towel over the cut. Then the paramedics got there, and a coroner said that Benny was no longer alive. The cops had an autopsy done on his body. A single knife cut to the upper left side of the chest was found to be the cause of death during the first investigation. Dr. Robert Huntington, the medical examiner, said that the murder weapon was a hell of a big knife. He told the police that the knife could have been a large butcher's knife. Huntington says that Benny was stabbed in his sleep because he had no wounds on his hands or arms from fighting back. The knife had cut through his left lung, between 2 vertebrae, and into the last layer of skin on his back. He also said that there would have been a hole in the waterbed if the knife had been even a 1/4 inch longer. When the officer talked to Yvonne, they found that the knife that had gone missing from their kitchen fit the description of the murder weapon very well. That made people look everywhere for the murder weapon. Police dumped out a pond near Benny's mobile home park, Pioneer Village, to look for the knife, but they did not find it. On July 22, 1985, volunteer divers from the Central Wisconsin Diving Academy also helped the police look for the knife, but to no success. The next week, Benny was laid to rest in Restlawn Memorial Park in Wisconsin Rapids, Wood County, USA. Benny's wife, Yvonne, who was 21 at the time, said in her first interview that she had heard her child crying from another room and gone to calm him. She then said that she had fallen asleep in her son's room. When she woke up, she went back to the room where Benny was sleeping. That is when she found out that Benny had been stabbed while she was gone. But this was not the only thing she said. When asked to come back for a second interview after the first one, Yvonne said something different. She told police that Benny had gone to sleep after the babysitter left, but he hadn't. After a while, she heard her 2-year-old son crying. Since she was already awake, she went to check on him and stayed in his room for 10 minutes. On her way back to the room where Benny was sleeping, she noticed something was wrong when she saw an odd shovel sitting against the fridge and the caravan door open. Since the Scruggs family did not have a shovel, Yvonne hurried over to see how Benny was doing. She saw that her husband was lying in a pool of blood. When she saw what was happening, she called her friend Brian for help. After the second interview, It was overheard by the police that Yvonne told her friends that she had been sleeping next to him, and he got stabbed, but she did not know how. In her next story, she said Benny was on the other side of the bed from where he was found. In her last interview of the night, Yvonne said that she and Benny had fallen asleep together, and when she woke up, he was throwing up and their son was crying in their room. Yvonne's answers kept changing as the conversations went on. All of these different comments made it hard for the detective to do his job. They had no choice but to think that Yvonne did not want to help them figure out what was going on. So they started to pay attention to other things that a friend named Donald Meyer had said. Even though not many people knew anything that could have helped the investigation, Donald Meyer's statement was very important. On August 10, 1985, Meyer lived with a woman named Beverly Polensky and her 10-year-old son near Benny and Ivan's house. Meyer, a key character in this exciting story, told one of the witnesses about some interesting links he had with the victim, Benny Scruggs. He said he had only known Benny for a short time, and that they met when he bought a car, and Benny sold a motorbike. But things took an interesting turn when Benny said he had known Benny's wife, Yvonne Scruggs, since they were in high school. It is interesting that they ran into each other again. 4 or 5 years ago, Meyer and Yvonne worked together at the Wilco store. Meyer said that Yvonne thought he had not treated her right when they were in school, but she was eager to get him back. In no time, their business friendship turned into something more personal, and they started dating. She used to give Meyer rides home, and they would often stop on a quiet dirt road for private moments. He kept saying that Yvonne had a bad temper and that he would not be shocked if she killed Benny. Before Benny was killed, Yvonne was said to have told Meyer about her problems with her husband. The fire that once burned between Yvonne and Benny had died down. She said she had lost the fizz, which Meyer took to mean that she no longer cared about Benny. In the days before Benny's sad death, the tension got worse. 3 days before he was found dead, Benny told Meyer that Yvonne kept bringing up his name over and over again, which made Benny even more angry. Both men thought it was a deliberate attempt to make him jealous and upset him. He said that the last time he saw Yvonne was in February 1985, and that she had called him to her house while Benny was out. They made pretty good use of their free time and had fun in the living room. Meyer also said that before he left, Yvonne told him that he already knew how to get rid of Benny if he ever wanted to be with her. The case went in a very different direction after Meyer said these things. During an interview in August 1985, the police told Avon about what Meyer had said. Yvonne confirmed Meyer's story. She said she did not tell the police about her link to Meyer because she did not think it was important to the investigation, and also because she was embarrassed. But she said she never suggested getting rid of Benny. Soon, witness reports started to point to Yvonne as a suspect, and the agents dug deep to find any information that could help them figure out what was going on. On August 20, 1987, Detective Bruce Malerick and Detective Exner talked with Yvonne's high school friend Cynthia A. Reese. She said that Benny and Yvonne came into the room in May 1985 when she and Yvonne were at the Wood County Courthouse for a social work event. Yvonne walked up to Cynthia, put her face close to Cynthia's ear, and said rude things about Benny. She then told Cynthia that she had found her partner. She said it did not worry her much, though, because she and Benny would not be together for long. After this confusing line, Yvonne left and got in touch with Cynthia about 2 months after Benny died. She asked if she had heard about Benny's murder, which Cynthia had. Ivan told her that everyone thought she was the one who killed Benny. Avon did not answer Cynthia when she asked her if she did. Another person who knew the Scruggs said that Avon said she knew who killed Benny. When the witness asked her why she did not tell the cops about what happened, she said she knew who did it but could not turn him in. Because of what she said, the cops started to think that Yvonne must have been involved in the crime in some way. All of Avon's comments that made people scratch their heads kept the detectives on edge. They kept going for several years. But because there was not enough proof, the case went cold after 1993. In 2012, Meyer's new statements gave the case new life. Meyer added to a long list of criminal charges as the case was coming to an end. In 2005, Avon, on the other hand, remarried Kevin Newkirchen. In 2006, Meyer was charged with making 2 threats against a Wood County judge. A jury found him guilty of the accusations. Meyer was charged with 10 counts of stalking after he contacted members of the jury that had found him guilty. Another jury found him guilty on 6 counts. Years went by, and the cops still did not know what happened, but things were about to change. Meyer called the Wisconsin Rapids Police Department in 2012 and said he wanted to talk about Benny Scruggs' murder while he was in Wood County Jail and the Wisconsin prison system on stalking charges. Meyer told the police that he did not do the crime, but he was very important to solving the case. During the interview, Meyer told the police that Yvonne was trying to make it look like he killed Benny. He also said that he had been to the Scruggs house more than once, and that his fingerprints would be all over the place, which would make it easier for her to carry out her plan. He also drew a detailed picture of the caravan, and told things about the people who lived there that had never been told before, like how the bedroom door did not lock and the back door was bolted shut. When a witness came forward in 2013, doubts about Avon grew even stronger. After reading about Benny's death in the press, she told the interviewer that her son dated Yvonne from 1989 to 1990, when she was still married to her second husband. She went on to say that Yvonne told her that she loved both Ivan and her son when she asked Ivan about meeting her son while he was married to someone else. The witness then told her she could not have it both ways. Yvonne told him that she had already killed one husband and could do it again if she had to. At the interview, the son of the witness who dated Yvonne was also there. He said that he had asked about the child's father and what had happened to him while they were dating. Avon said that she killed him, and that is why he died. She did say, though, that she was drunk and did not remember much. In 2013, the police talked to some of Meyer's prisoners. When Yvonne was married to Benny, Meyer liked to talk about the fact that he was still having sexual relations with her. According to the other prisoners, Meyer also talked to other prisoners about the Benny Scruggs case while he was in jail. One inmate said that Meyer waited outside in the caravan park on the night of the murder, July 17, 1985, and watched as Benny and Yvonne Scruggs went home. The inmate said that Meyer told him that he knew Avon Scruggs would be in her son's room at the mobile home, leaving Benny alone in the bedroom. During a different interview, a prisoner told police that Meyer had told him what happened the day Benny Scruggs was killed. According to what he said, Meyer walked into the mobile home, went into the bedroom, and stabbed Benny Scruggs. He then went home, took a shower, took off his clothes, and threw them and the murder weapon away. Meyer said he chose that day to kill because he knew the trash would be picked up first thing in the morning. He also said that on November 13, when the police were still looking for the murder weapon, the trash workers found the knife in the trash. In 2015, Yvonne died of serious alcohol poisoning in the Wisconsin city of Eagle River. Even though Benny's investigations were focused on Ivan and the detectives had doubts about her, she was never charged with or tried for murder. When Meyer heard that Ivan had died, she told a witness that cops would never find the knife because she was dead. Another prisoner told the police that Meyer told him that he had a sexual relationship with Yvonne the night before he killed Benny. Later, in an interview in 2017, one of Meyer's fellow prisoners said that Meyer had admitted to killing Benny. He said that Meyer killed Benny because Ivan would not be with him while her husband was still living. He went on with the interview by saying that he also heard Meyer talking to his mother on the phone. Meyer said in that phone call that he was glad that both Benny and Devin were dead. Investigators were able to find the tape of the phone call, which confirmed what the witnesses had said. The Wisconsin Department of Justice's Division of Criminal Probe helped the Wisconsin Rapids Police Department with the probe. Donald Meyer, who was 60 years old at the time, was charged with killing Benny Scruggs in 2022. This was after 37 years. The special prosecutor in the case was Robert Kaiser, who is an assistant attorney general in Wisconsin. Meyer was in the Racine Correctional Institute in Sturtevant. On September 9, 2022, he was supposed to go to court for the first time on the murder charge. But he would not leave his cell for the hearing and would not even talk to his public attorney. Meyer's public attorney tried to get him a new public hearing date in December 2022, but the judge was not eager to agree. But Meyer got a second chance and said he was not guilty. His next trial was set for April 2023, and it would be a video call. On May 2, 2023, the trial finished without a clear winner. Donald Meyer showed up in court when Judge Todd Wolf ordered the competency exam after the defendant made a number of claims. This included Meyer's desire to end his contract with his lawyer and keep going with the case on his own, or to become his own lawyer. Meyer's lawyer, Timothy Hogan, said he did not know that Meyer wanted to relieve him of his tasks. Then, Judge Wolf ordered a hearing to find out if the person was competent before moving forward with the case. The case did not come to a clear end, and there were no plans for more court action right away. Even though Meyer's fate was not decided at the meetings, it seemed pretty clear that he would spend some time in jail. Meyer's future was still uncertain, but Benny was no longer there. Benny Scruggs' case was too difficult, and from far away, it looked like any of them could have killed him. But we will have to wait and see how the court case goes. Then we will know everything we need to know. Do you think Meyer was really to blame for Benny's death, or did Yvonne plan it all? Tell us what you think in the comments. Like, comment, and share this video as well. Please subscribe to our channel so that we can bring you more cold cases and go over everything in detail with you. Thanks for watching.